My name is Maggie O'Neill. I'm 68 years old, and what I'm about to tell you will make you question every family photo in your house. 3 days ago, my own daughter Sarah and her husband Connor pushed my husband Patrick and me into Blackwater Lake from the dock we built with our bare hands in 1987. As I sank, lungs burning, wedding rings scraping the anchor chain, Patrick, half blind from cataracts and half gone from Alzheimer's, pressed his lips to my ear through the bubbles and whispered, "Play dead, love. Hold your breath." I did, for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. While Sarah stood on that dock in her white sundress, sipping the Chardonnay we chilled for her birthday, watching us drown. But that wasn't the worst of it. The worst came when Patrick's last bubble broke the surface and he rasped the secret our daughter had buried for 25 years. She killed Ellen too. Same lake, for the deed. Let me take you back so you understand how a mother ends up treading water in her own grave. We bought the lake house in 1985 for $42,000. Every penny of Patrick's carpenter pension and my librarian savings. 12 acres on Blackwater Lake, County Kerry, Ireland, transplanted to upstate New York. Pine trees so tall they scratched the moon. A duck that creaked like an old hymn. We named her Teach Unloka, House of the Lake. Patrick built the wraparound porch with his own hands, planed each board until it gleamed like harp strings. I painted the shutters the green of Connemara grass. We raised 2 girls there. Ellen, our firstborn, red-haired and fearless, who could swim before she could walk, and Sarah, 5 years younger, quiet, watchful, always reading in the window seat with her knees tucked under her chin. Sundays were sacred. After Mass at St. Bridget's, we'd pile into the old Ford pickup, Patrick driving, me with a picnic hamper, the girls in the back singing Danny Boy off-key. We'd eat egg sandwiches on the dock, feet dangling in water so clear you could see trout like silver coins. Ellen would dive for stones. Sarah would sketch the ripples. Patrick carved their initials into the dock post, E+S 1992. I traced them every summer, feeling the grooves deepen like worry lines. Evenings, Patrick and I walked the perimeter trail. He'd carry his thermos of Barry's tea, I'd carry silence. We talked about the girls' futures. Ellen studying marine biology, Sarah maybe architecture. We'd save for college, then retire here, watch grandbabies chase fireflies. "We'll grow old in this house, Maggie," Patrick said, squeezing my hand. "Roots deeper than the pines." I believed him. Weekends, my sisters, Fiona and Bridget, came with their husbands and broods. The house swelled with noise. Kids cannonballing off the dock, women swapping recipes in the kitchen, brown bread, lamb stew, apple tart, men fixing the boat or arguing over horseshoes. Patrick was the heart of it, fixing a loose shutter, telling stories of the old country, teaching the boys to tie a fisherman's knot. I was the soul, reading The Secret Garden aloud on the porch, bandaging scraped knees, slipping extra cookies to the shy ones. Sarah was different. While Ellen led the pack, Sarah lingered at the edges. She'd watch the chaos with those slate-gray eyes, then disappear to the attic with her sketchbook. I'd find her hours later, drawing floor plans of imaginary houses, towers, turrets, secret rooms. "One day, Mom," she'd say, "I'll build something no one can take away." I thought she meant dreams. When Ellen 2020, the cracks began. She'd come home from sunny Binghamton with brochures for grad school, Woods Hole Oceanographic. "I'll map the oceans, Da," she told Patrick, eyes shining. "Protect the lakes." Sarah, 15, rolled her eyes. "Lakes don't need protecting. People do." It's heard them argue once, late at night. Ellen's voice sharp. "You can't just take what isn't yours, Sarah." Sarah's reply, cold as lake stones, "Watch me." I chalked it up to sibling rivalry. Mothers are fools for harmony. October 12, 2000. Ellen didn't come home for fall break. We waited until midnight, then 1 a.m., then dawn. Sarah was in her room, supposedly cramming for midterms. But I saw her eyes, red-rimmed, not from studying. Patrick and the neighbors searched every trail, every cove. At 7:14 a.m., they found Ellen's body tangled in reeds at the lake's north end. Police said she'd slipped on wet rocks, hit her head, drowned. Case closed. The funeral was a blur of black veils and casseroles. I wore the same dress I'd worn to my mother's grave. Sarah stood beside the casket, dry-eyed, clutching a single white lily. Patrick never left my side, but his hands shook so badly he couldn't hold the hymnal. After, Sarah changed. She became the perfect daughter, cooking meals, driving me to grief counseling, sitting with Patrick while he stared at the lake. I thought it was love. Years passed. The wound scabbed but never healed. Sarah married Connor, a slick developer from Syracuse with a smile like polished chrome. They had 3 children, Liam, Nora, and little Finn. Connor called me mom, kissed my cheek, fixed the leaky faucet without asking. Sarah designed their McMansion in Skaneateles, all glass and angles. They visited the lake house every summer, kids squealing off the dock, Connor grilling steaks. I thought we'd found peace. Then, 6 months ago, Patrick's Alzheimer's crept in like fog. He'd forget the kettle, call Sarah Ellen, wander the dock at night searching for his red-haired girl. The doctor said it was progressive. Quality of life, he murmured. Consider assisted living. Sarah suggested we update the will. You're 68, Mom. Da's fading. Let's protect the lake house for the grandkids. Connor nodded, all concern. We'll handle everything. You rest. We met the lawyer, Mr. Doyle, same man who'd handled Ellen's estate. The lake house was worth $1.2 million now. Land alone, $800,000. Savings, $320,000. Patrick's pension, $120,000. Total, $2.24 million. Sarah insisted she and Connor be sole executors. For efficiency, she said, squeezing my hand. We'll divide fairly among the kids. Connor added, you'll need care soon. This ensures it. I hesitated. Ellen had always joked, when you go, Mom, split it 50-50, no favorites. But Ellen was gone. Sarah was here. We signed. After, Sarah hugged me tight. United forever, Mom. Her perfume, jasmine, clung to my sweater like a lie. The visits increased, always with suggestions. Sell the lake house, downsize to a condo. Invest in Connor's new development, guaranteed 12% return. Power of attorney, just in case. Each time, Sarah's eyes flicked to the dock, the boathouse, the deed framed above the fireplace. One night, Patrick wandered to the attic. I found him clutching Sarah's old sketchbook. Page after page, floor plans of the lake house, red X's over the dock, arrows labeled sell. On the last page, a child's scrawl, mine forever. .s. I confronted Sarah. What's this? She laughed, brittle. Kid stuff, Mom. I was obsessed. But her eyes were the same as the night Ellen died. Patrick's decline accelerated. He'd mistake Connor for a burglar, hide the checkbook. Sarah suggested, let us manage finances, for safety. I refused. Then came the invitation. Memory weekend at the lake house, Sarah texted. Just us. Recreate old times. Bring Da's favorite tea. I should have known. Friday, August 15th, 2025. We arrived at dusk. The house glowed. String lights, lanterns, the dock lit like a runway. Sarah wore the white sundress she'd worn to Ellen's funeral. Connor carried a picnic hamper. The kids were at sleepaway camp. Patrick clutched my arm, confused but smiling. Our girls, he murmured, seeing Sarah. Dinner on the dock. Lobster rolls, Chardonnay, apple tart. Patrick dozed in his Adirondack chair. I sipped tea, berries, 2 sugars. My eyelids grew heavy. Ma'am, help Dad to the boat, Sarah said. Sunset cruise, like old times. The rowboat bobbed, painted the same green as the shutters. Connor studied Patrick. I climbed in, legs like lead. Halfway across the lake, the world tilted. My arms wouldn't lift. Patrick slumped against me. Connor rowed to the deepest part. Black water drop, 90 feet. Sarah knelt, voice syrupy. Time for your nap, ma'am, she pushed. We fell backward. Water closed over us like a coffin lid. Patrick's hand found mine, his lips to my ear. Play dead, love. Hold your breath. I did. Lungs screamed, vision tunneled. I counted. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Sarah silhouette above, sundress glowing. She watched. At 4 minutes and 11 seconds, I broke surface behind the boat's shadow. Patrick floated beside me, eyes open, unseeing. Connor hauled him in. He's gone. Sarah checked her watch. Give it 5 more. Insurance needs bodies. I sank again. They motored away. I swam, strokes learned from Ellen, until reeds scraped my fingers. I crawled ashore, collapsed in mud. Patrick's hearing aid glinted in the moonlight. Still recording. I pressed it to my ear. Sarah's voice, tinny. Ellen fought harder, but the lake always keeps its secrets. I blacked out, woke to sirens.
The morning after Patrick's funeral, I woke in the lake house with the taste of lake water still in my throat. The grandkids were asleep upstairs, Liam snoring like a freight train, Nora curled around her sketchbook, Finn clutching the stuffed seal Patrick had won at the county fair in 1998. I stood at the kitchen window, watching mist rise off Blackwater like ghosts leaving a seance. The dock stretched into the gray, the same dock where Sarah had stood in her white sundress, sipping Chardonnay while I held my breath for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. I made tea, berries, 2 sugars, the way Patrick liked it. The kettle screamed like a banshee. I let it. Detective Ruiz arrived at 7:03 a.m., boots crunching gravel. He carried a manila folder thick as a phone book. "Mrs. O'Neill," he said, hat in hand, "we need to talk about the deed." I poured him tea. He declined. "Sarah and Connor lawyered up," he said, "public defenders claiming the recording's inadmissible, fruit of the poisonous tree. Says Patrick's hearing aid wasn't disclosed as a recording device." I laughed, bitter as burnt toast. It's a hearing aid, not a bloody wiretap. Patrick needed it to hear his grandkids laugh. Ruiz opened the folder. "We pulled bank records. Sarah's been siphoning your pension since 2019, $120,000 total. Forged your signature on direct deposit forms. Connor funneled it into a shell company, Blackwater Holdings LLC. Guess who the sole officer is? Sarah. Bingo. They were leveraged to the hilt, $1.8 million in loans against the lake house before you even signed the will. Banks were calling notes. They needed you gone by September 1st or lose everything." I stared at the dock. They planned to kill us for a deadline? "Worse," Ruiz said. "We found Ellen's original autopsy photos. Bruising on her arms, finger-shaped, not from rocks. Someone held her under." My knees buckled. Ruiz caught me. "We're reopening Ellen's case as homicide, but we need more. The hearing aid only catches the lake attempt. We need Sarah to confess to Ellen on tape." I straightened. "Then we give her a stage." Plan. Operation White Dress. I called Sarah's lawyer, Mr. Hargrove, smarmy type, $600 an hour. "Mrs. O'Neill," he purred, "my client's devastated. She wants to reconcile for the children." "Tell her to come to the lake house," I said. "Tomorrow. Noon. Alone. I'll sign custody papers. She can have the kids." Hargrove hesitated. "She'll need assurances. She'll have my forgiveness," I lied. "And tea." Ruiz wired the house. Microphones in the chandelier, the teapot, the dock post with E+S 1992. Cameras in the birdhouse, the boathouse, the fireplace mantel. I baked soda bread. The smell of yeast and guilt filled the rooms. Saturday, August 23rd, 11:57 a.m. Sarah arrived in the white sundress. Same one, spotless. She carried a manila envelope. Custody papers, no doubt. Her eyes were red-rimmed, but dry. "Ma'am," she said, voice trembling like a bad actress. "I'm so sorry. Connor, he manipulated me. I never wanted." I hugged her. She stiffened. Jasmine perfume choked me. "Sit, love," I said, guiding her to the kitchen table. "Tea?" She nodded. I poured. The teapot camera winked. We talked about the kids. Liam's diving scores, Nora's art prize, Finn's fear of thunder. Sarah's hands shook as she stirred sugar. 3 spoons, same as Patrick. "I signed the papers," I said, sliding the envelope back. "But first, Tell me about Ellen. Her spoon clattered. Ma'am, it was an accident. Was it? I leaned close. Patrick heard you. On the dock. You said, Ellen fought harder. Sarah's face went the color of lake mist. He was confused. Alzheimer's. His hearing aid recorded you, Sarah, clear as chapel bells. Same spot. Poetic. She stood so fast the chair toppled. You're lying. I pressed play on my phone. Patrick's voice, faint but unmistakable. She killed Ellen too. Same lake for the deed. Sarah lunged for the phone. I let her grab it. The dock camera caught her sprinting outside, sundress flapping like a surrender flag. I followed. On the dock, she hurled the phone into the water. It sank like a stone. See, she screamed, no evidence. I smiled. Wrong dock, love. That was the decoy. Ruiz stepped from the boathouse, cuffs gleaming. Sarah O'Neill Black, you're under arrest for the murder of Ellen O'Neill and the attempted murders of Margaret and Patrick O'Neill. She ran, barefoot, splinters in the dock. I didn't chase. I'd already caught her. Interrogation room, county jail. Ruiz played the new recording. Sarah. I was 15. Ellen was going to tell you I forged your signature on the savings bonds, $20,000. She said she'd ruin me. I panicked, held her under, just until she stopped kicking. Sarah, the lake house was supposed to be mine. Ellen wanted to sell it for grad school. I couldn't let her. She cried then, real tears. I loved her, ma'am, but she was going to take everything. I watched through the glass. My daughter, my murderer, my failure. Custody hearing, September 5. The grandkids sat between me and Fiona. Liam held my hand so tight my fingers went numb. Judge Harlan, a woman with eyes like winter lake ice, read the charges. Given the defendant's confessions and the minor children's safety, temporary custody is granted to Margaret O'Neill, permanency hearing in 6 months. Sarah sobbed in orange. Connor stared at the floor. I leaned to Liam. You're home, love. He whispered. Can we still swim? Every day. Fall at the lake house. I enrolled the kids in grief counseling. Liam dove for stones where Ellen died, said he was looking for her smile. Nora sketched the dock at sunset, titled it, Where Grandma Saved Us. Finn slept with Patrick's hearing aid under his pillow, said it kept the monsters quiet. I found Sarah's old sketchbook in the attic, page 147, a drawing of the dock, dated October 11th, 2000. Ellen's body outlined in red pencil, captioned, Accident. I burned it in the fireplace. The flames smelled like justice. October 12, 25th anniversary of Ellen's murder. I hosted a memorial. Fiona, Bridget, the neighbors, the fishermen who found me. We released paper boats with candles. Liam's sank first. Nora's floated longest. Finn's caught fire, cheered like it was fireworks. I spoke. Ellen loved this lake. Let's love it for her. After, I took the kids to the North Cove. We scattered wildflowers. Nora asked, will Mommy ever come home? I knelt. She's sick, love, but you're safe. That's what matters. Thanksgiving. No turkey. We had shepherd's pie, soda bread, apple tart. The table groaned. Fiona carved. Bridget told stories of Ellen teaching her to skip stones. Liam raised his milk glass. To Grandpa Patrick. He saved Grandma with a whisper. We clinked. December. Trial prep. Ruiz brought the plea deal. Sarah, 25 years, eligible for parole in 15. Connor, 20 years, parole in 12. I refused. They planned for months. Let a jury decide. Christmas Eve. I hung stockings. Liam's had a diving mask. Nora's a sketch pad. Finn's a new seal, named Patrick Jr. We watched It's a Wonderful Life. Finn fell asleep on my lap. At midnight, the phone rang. Blocked number. I answered. Sarah's voice, small. Ma'am, I'm sorry. For Ellen, for you, for the kids. I said nothing. She whispered, tell them I love them. I hung up. New Year's Day, 2026. I woke to snow. The lake frozen solid. The kids begged to skate. I found Ellen's old skates in the boathouse, size 7, blades dull. We sharpened them on Patrick's old whetstone. On the ice, Liam spun like a hockey pro. Nora drew figure eights. Finn fell, laughed, fell again. I skated to the center, where Blackwater Drop lay beneath. I pressed my glove to the ice. We're still here, Ellen. Still swimmin'. Spring, permanency hearing. Judge Harlan granted permanent custody. The children thrive under Mrs. O'Neill's care. No contact with biological parents until age 18, per request. Sarah sobbed in orange. Connor stared at the floor. I leaned to Liam. You're home, love, he whispered. Can we still swim? Every day. Fall, Sarah's cryall. I testified for 3 days. The jury cried when I played Patrick's hearing aid. Sarah stared at the table. Hair in a bun, no makeup. Closing arguments. Prosecutor. She drowned her sister at 15, tried to drown her mother at 40 for a house. Defense. A teenager's mistake. A desperate act under duress. Verdict. Guilty. Life without parole. Connor took a plea. 25 years. Winter. Moving forward. I sold the Scanatellis McMansion. Used proceeds to start the Ellen O'Neill Memorial Scholarship. $10,000 a year for girls studying marine biology. First recipient, Nora, age 12. Liam asked, can we change our last name to O'Neill? I cried. Already done, love. 1 year later, August 15th, 2026. We returned to the dock. Same day Sarah pushed us. I wore Patrick's old sweater. The kids wore life jackets. Bright orange, impossible to miss. We scattered wildflowers. Liam dove. Nora sketched. Finn sang
First
Danny
frost
Boy.
of 2026 came early, painting the lake house windows with lace. I woke before dawn, the way I had since Patrick died, to the sound of the pipes groaning like an old man clearing his throat. Liam was already up, lacing his swim team sneakers by the back door. Morning, Gran, he said, breath fogging. Coach says I'm 2 seconds off state finals. I ruffled his hair, still damp from the shower. You'll beat the lake itself, love. Nora patted in, sketchbook under her arm, Finn trailing with Patrick Jr., the seal tucked under his chin. Pancakes, she asked. With blueberries, I promised, and a story. We ate at the oak table Patrick had built in 1989, the one with the burn mark from the Christmas pudding fire of '94. I told them about Ellen teaching me to float on my back when I was afraid of deep water. She said, trust the lake, ma'am. It holds you if you let it. Finn's eyes went wide. Did Aunt Ellen talk to fish? Only the polite ones, I said. After breakfast, the social worker arrived, Miss Delzato, clipboard and kind eyes. Monthly check-in. She watched Liam practice dive starts off the dock, Nora sketch the ice patterns on the window, Finn build a fort out of library books. Adjustment is remarkable, she wrote. Grandmother provides stability, structure, love. I signed where indicated, another step toward forever. Winter projects. I turned the boathouse into a workshop. Liam needed a diving board, Nora an easel, Finn a bookshelf shaped like a boat. I used Patrick's old tools, planes, chisels, the lathe that still smelled of cedar. Every nail I drove was a promise. This house will never swallow another child. Liam helped sand the diving board. Gran, why do you keep the old rowboat? The green one Sarah had used. I dragged it from the lake bottom myself, barnacles clinging like accusations. From memory, I said, and evidence. January 2027, Ellen's birthday. She would have been 45. We baked a chocolate cake, her favorite, and carried it to the North Cove. The lake was frozen solid, a mirror under moonlight. Liam lit 45 candles. Wind stole half the flames. Nora read a poem she'd written. Sister of water, keeper of stones, your laugh still skips across the lake. We dive for your smile, we float for your bones, and the house stands guard for your sake. Finn released a paper boat with a single candle. It slid across the ice, glowing like a fallen star. I whispered, happy birthday, my red-haired girl. February, the letter. It came in a plain envelope, no return address, postmarked Syracuse Correctional. Sarah's handwriting, neat, slanted, the same as her childhood book reports. Ma'am, I count the days by cafeteria slop and fluorescent hum.
8,760 to parole review. I dream of the lake, not the dock, your face when I pushed. I see it every time I close my eyes. Connor blames me, says I'm the monster. Maybe he's right. I taught Liam to doggy paddle in the shallow end. Nora's first word was duck. Finn's first steps were on this dock. I wanted to give them what Ellen wanted to take. I was 15. I was scared. I was wrong. Tell them their mother is learning to swim in regrets. Sarah. I read it 3 times, then folded it into the sketchbook with Ellen's dock drawing, the one I'd burned. The ashes were gone, but the words remained. I did not write back. Spring thaw. The ice cracked like gunfire in March. Liam won the state finals, freestyle, backstroke, butterfly. The local paper ran a photo. Local teen breaks records, honors late aunt. Nora's scholarship artwork, a mural of the lake at 4 Seasons, hung in the high school lobby. Finn started kindergarten, reading at a 2nd grade level. I planted daffodils along the path to the dock. Each bulb a promise, life grows where death tried to root. May, the reporter. Her name was Juno Park, Adirondack Life magazine. She wanted the human interest angle. Grandmother adopts grandchildren after family tragedy. I agreed on conditions. No photos of the kids' faces, no mention of the dock push, focus on Ellen's scholarship. We met at the lake house. Juno was young, sharp, respectful. She recorded on a sleek silver device. "Tell me about Ellen," she said. I told her everything, except the murder. The diving, the laughter, the way Ellen could name every constellation. Juno asked, "How do you heal a family after betrayal?" I looked at the dock where Liam was practicing flips. You teach them to swim in the same water until fear becomes memory. The article ran in June. Title, "The Lake That Heals." Subscriptions spiked. Summer 2027. Camp. I sent the kids to sleepaway camp, same one Sarah had claimed they were at during the murder weekend. Liam as junior counselor, Nora in art, Finn in nature. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I spent the days cataloging Patrick's tools, donating what I couldn't use to the high school woodshop. Each chisel had a story. The one that carved the kid's growth chart on the pantry door, the plane that smoothed Ellen's hope chest. One evening, I found a hidden drawer in Patrick's workbench. Inside, a cassette tape labeled "For Maggie, If I Forget." I hadn't owned a cassette player in 20 years. Drove to the thrift store, bought one for $8. Patrick's voice. Younger, clearer. "Love, if Alzheimer's takes me, play this for the kids. Tell them I loved their grandmother more than the lake loved the moon. Tell them to dive deep, but always come up for air. And tell Maggie, forgive, but don't forget. The lake keeps its secrets, but truth floats." I played it on loop until the tape stretched. August, return from camp. The kids tumbled off the bus, sunburned, mosquito-bitten, taller. Liam carried a trophy, most improved diver. Nora had a portfolio of charcoal drawings. Finn clutched a pine cone pet named Sir Splash. We celebrated with a dock picnic, lobster rolls, Chardonnay for me, root beer for them. Liam asked, "Gran, can we repaint the rowboat?" The green one, still barnacled. I'd dragged it from the lake bottom myself, barnacles clinging like accusations. "For memory," I said, "and evidence." January 2027, Ellen's birthday. She would have been 45. We baked a chocolate cake, her favorite, and carried it to the North Cove. The lake was frozen solid, a mirror under moonlight. Liam lit 45 candles. Wind stole half the flames. Nora read a poem she'd written. "Sister of water, keeper of stones, your laugh still skips across the lake. We dive for your smile, we float for your bones, and the house stands guard for your sake." Finn released a paper boat with a Finco candle. It slid across the ice, glowing like a fallen star. I whispered, "Happy birthday, my red-haired girl." February, the letter. It came in a plain envelope, no return address, postmarked Syracuse Correctional. Sarah's handwriting, neat, slanted, the same as her childhood book reports. "Ma'am, I count the days by cafeteria slop and fluorescent hum. 8,760 to parole review. I dream of the lake. Not the dock. Your face when I pushed. I see it every time I close my eyes. Connor blames me, says I'm the monster. Maybe he's right. I taught Liam to doggy paddle in the shallow end. Nora's first word was duck. Finn's first steps were on this dock. I wanted to give them what Ellen wanted to take. I was 15. I was scared. I was wrong. Tell them their mother is learning to swim in regrets. Sarah. I read it 3 times, then folded it into the sketchbook with Ellen's dock drawing, the one I'd burned. The ashes were gone, but the words remained. I did not write back. Spring thaw. The ice cracked like gunfire in March. Liam won the state finals, freestyle, backstroke, butterfly. The local paper ran a photo. Local teen breaks records, honors late aunt. Nora's scholarship artwork, a mural of the lake at Four Seasons, hung in the high school lobby. Finn started kindergarten, reading at a 2nd grade level. I planted daffodils along the path to the dock. Each bulb a promise. Life grows where death tried to root. May, the reporter. Her name was Juno Park, Adirondack Life magazine. She wanted the human interest angle. Grandmother adopts grandchildren after family tragedy. I agreed on conditions. No photos of the kids' faces, no mention of the dock push, focus on Ellen's scholarship. We met at the lake house. Juno was young, sharp, respectful. She recorded on a sleek silver device. "Tell me about Ellen," she said. I told her everything, except the murder. The diving, the laughter, the way Ellen could name every constellation. Juno asked, "How do you heal a family after betrayal?" I looked at the dock where Liam was practicing flips. You teach them to swim in the same water
August
until
15th,
fear
2028,
becomes memory.
dawned the color of a robin's egg. I was 69 now, and the lake house had become a living thing. Walls breathing with children's laughter, floors scarred by Finn's toy trucks, windows fogged by Nora's breath as she sketched frost patterns. The dock, once a gallows, now wore a fresh coat of weatherproof stain and a brass plaque Liam had engraved. Ellen's Echo, swim here, fear nowhere. I rose at 5:47 a.m., the hour Patrick used to wake for coffee and the Irish Times crossword. The grandkids were still asleep. Liam sprawled across the pull-out couch like a starfish, Nora cocooned in blankets, Finn snoring with Patrick Jr., the seal, tucked under his chin. I padded to the kitchen in wool socks, started the kettle, and opened the back door to let the lake in. Mist curled off the water like incense. A loon called, mournful and clear. I closed my eyes and listened for Ellen's laugh in the echo. Morning routine. 6:15, tea, berries, 2 sugars. 6:30, check the scholarship fund balance, $187,000. 6:45, water the daffodils along the dock path. 7 o'clock, wake the kids. Liam groaned, 5 more minutes, Gran. Nora mumbled, the light's perfect for drawing. Finn bolted upright, is it pancake day? Every day was pancake day now. Breakfast council. We ate at the oak table. I slid a stack of mail across the syrup. Letter from Syracuse Correctional, Sarah. Invitation to Liam's National Swim Banquet. Art supply catalog for Nora. Kindergarten registration reminder for Finn next year. Liam eyed the prison envelope. Another one? Another one, I confirmed. Nora asked, do we have to read it? Only if you want to. Finn buttered his pancake into a smiley face. Mommy says she's learning to float. Can prisoners float? I poured milk. Everyone can learn love. Some just take longer. Sarah's letter, August 2028. I read it alone on the dock, feet dangling in water warm as bathwater. Ma'am, they moved me to general population. I tutor inmates for GEDs. One girl, Maria, reminds me of Nora. Quiet, watchful. I taught her to sketch floor plans. She wants to be an architect. Connor divorced me, says I'm toxic. He's dating a guard. I signed the papers. The lake house is yours. Always was. Liam's medal, saw it in the prison newsletter. Tell him I cheered so loud they put me in solitary for a day. Nora's mural, state champion. Finn's reading level, genius. I'm proud and ashamed in the same breath.
Tell them their mother is building a library corner in the rec room. Donated my commissary to buy books. Ellen's scholarship paid for the first shelf. Sarah. I folded the letter, slipped it into the brass plaque screw hole, hidden but not forgotten. Swim practice. Liam coached the middle school team now. I drove him to the community pool in Patrick's pickup. The lot smelled of chlorine and ambition. Coach Ramirez clapped Liam on the back. "Your grands are lucky charm, O'Neill." I waved from the bleachers, knitting a scarf the color of lake twilight. Afternoon, Nora's art lesson. I hired Juno Park, the Adirondack life reporter, as Nora's mentor. Once a week, they met in the boathouse studio. Today's project, watercolor of the dock at Four Seasons. Juno asked, "What does the lake mean to you, Nora?" Nora dipped her brush. "It's where Aunt Ellen lives, and where Gran taught us to breathe underwater." Juno's eyes flicked to me. I nodded. Truth was the best pigment. Evening, Finn's library. Finn had claimed the attic as Finn's floating library. Shelves shaped like rowboats, cushions like life preservers. He cataloged every book with construction paper Dewey Decimals. Tonight's read aloud, The Little Mermaid. Finn insisted on doing all the voices. When Ariel lost her voice, Finn whispered, "That's like Mommy in prison. She can't talk to us." I closed the book. But she writes, and we read. That's a kind of voice. September, school pictures. Liam, Letterman jacket, metal gleaming. Nora, paint-splattered overalls, charcoal smudge on cheek. Finn, gap-toothed grin, Patrick Jr. peeking from backpack. I framed them above the fireplace, next to Patrick's hearing aid shadow box. October 12, 28th anniversary. We held the memorial at sunrise. The lake was molten gold. Liam read his college essay draft, Early Decision to Sunny Oswego, Marine Biology. I want to protect the water that tried to take my family. Ellen's Echo isn't just a boat, it's a mission. Nora unveiled a sculpture, driftwood and lake stones shaped like a heart, titled Pulse. Finn released a fleet of paper boats, each with a candle and a wish. Mine, may the lake forgive what it could not forget. Halloween. Theme, Lake Legends. Liam, Davy Jones, locker made of pool noodles. Nora, Lady of the Lake, dress of recycled water bottles. Finn, Baby Loch Ness, green pajamas, cardboard hump. We carved pumpkins on the dock. Finn's was a seal, Nora's a mermaid, Liam's a stopwatch, for Ellen's record. Thanksgiving. 31 at the table. Fiona brought Calcannon, Bridget apple tart. The kids set places for Ellen and Patrick. Empty chairs, full plates. Liam said grace, for the lake that tried to swallow us and taught us to swim instead. December, the documentary. Juno pitched a short film to PBS, Echoes of Ellen. They wanted to film at the lake house. I agreed, on conditions. No reenactments of the push. Focus on the scholarship and the kids. Sarah's letters anonymized. Filming started December 26. Crew of 4, minimal lights. Day 1, Liam diving at dawn. Day 2, Nora painting the dock. Day 3, Finn reading to Patrick Jr. Director asked, "Mrs. O'Neill, what's the lake's role now?" I stood at water's edge. It's a witness. It saw the worst of us. Now it sees the best. Christmas. Snow fell thick as forgiveness. Gifts. Liam, monogrammed swim cap. O'Neill. Nora, professional watercolor set. Finn, first edition The Little Mermaid, illustrated by Ellen's favorite artist. We hung new stockings, hand-knitted, labeled Liam, Nora, Finn, Ellen, Patrick. Midnight phone call, blocked. Sarah, "Ma'am, the documentary, will they show the doc?" I said the truth, the part you helped write. She was quiet. Tell Finn his seal voice is perfect. I hung up. New Year's Eve, fireworks over the frozen lake. Liam set them off from the ice, safe distance, permit approved. Nora sketched the bursts. Finn banked pots. At midnight, I toasted to 2029. May we dive deeper, love louder, and always resurface. January 2029, college acceptance. Liam's letter from sunny Oswego. Congratulations, full scholarship, Ellen O'Neill Memorial Fund. He cried in the pickup. She's paying for my future, Gran. I hugged him. She always did. February, the rowboat race. Annual Blackwater Regatta. We entered Ellen's Echo. Crew, Liam's captain, Nora Coxswain, Finn mascot. They placed second, beaten by a team of frat boys. Finn cheered anyway. We didn't sink. March, Sarah's parole hearing. Denied. New evidence, prison fight. Sarah broke another inmate's nose over a stolen sketchbook. She wrote, I'm still learning to float. Some days I sink. Spring, growth. Daffodils exploded. Liam's biceps from weight training. Nora's first period, handled with hot water bottle and chocolate. Finn lost his first tooth. Left it under pillow for the lake ferry. Summer 2029, Nationals rematch. Ohio again. Liam took gold, 50-meter freestyle. The medal ceremony played Danny Boy at his request. August 15th, 5 years. We returned to the dock. Liam wore his gold medal. Nora carried her mural, now a traveling exhibit. Finn held a new seal, Patrick III. We scattered wildflowers. Liam dove, Nora sketched, Finn sang. I whispered, 5 years since you tried to drown us, Sarah. 5 years
August 15,
since we learned
2030. I turned 70 at 4:11 a.m., the exact minute I broke the surface 5 years ago, gasping for air while Sarah watched from the dock. The lake house was quiet, except for the tick of the grandfather clock Patrick had restored in 1997, and the soft creak of the dock under a breeze that smelled of pine and forgiveness. I slipped out of bed, careful not to wake Finn, who had migrated to my room after a nightmare about the lady in the white dress. Liam was away at sunny Oswego, freshman orientation. Nora slept in the attic studio, surrounded by half-finished canvases. I brewed tea, opened the back door, and let the lake in. Morning ritual, age 70. 5 o'clock, tea, berries, 2 sugars, splash of milk. 5:15, check scholarship fund, $312,000, donations spiked after PBS documentary. 5:30, water daffodils. 5:45, read Patrick's cassette note, laminated now, kept in the Bible. 6 o'clock, wake Nora and Finn. Nora groaned, the light's too perfect to waste on school. Finn bolted up, is Liam coming home for pancakes? Weekend, I said, blueberry today. Breakfast council, August 2030. Mail stack. Liam's first college care package list, ramen, swim goggles, laundry detergent. Nora's acceptance to Skenetalus Art Collective, junior mentorship. Finn's kindergarten open house invite. Thick envelope from Syracuse Correctional, Sarah, postmarked parole reconsideration. Finn buttered his pancake into a boat. Mommy's letter is fat, maybe she drew me a seal. Nora's eyes narrowed. Or maybe she's trying to get out. I slid the envelope under the fruit bowl. We'll read it together, after chores. Chores. Liam's room. Dust, change sheets, leave a note. Proud of you, diver. Love, Gran. Nora's studio. Sweep paint flakes, refill turpentine. Finn's library. Reshelve where the wild things are. He insists it belongs in Monster Seas. Dock. Scrub seagull droppings, tighten loose board where Ellen's plaque is bolted. Sarah's letter, August 2030. We read it on the dock, feet in water. Dearest Mom, Liam, Nora, Finn. They're letting me apply for work release. I tutor GED math 3 days a week at the county library. Irony tastes like cardboard. The parole board wants proof of rehabilitation. I built a little free library outside the prison fence, painted it lake blue.
stocked it with Ellen's scholarship brochures. Kids take them. Some write thank you notes on napkins. Liam, your 50-meter time is plastered on the rec room bulletin. I trace the numbers when lights go out. Nora, your mural travels to Albany next month. I signed up to clean the exhibit hall just to stand under it. Finn, your seal voice in the documentary made the guards cry. They call me Mama Seal now. Connor remarried. Guard named Tiffany. They have a baby. He sent divorce papers final. I signed. No contest. I dream of the doc, not the push, the summers before. Ellen teaching me to skip stones. You braiding our hair with daisies. I trade every day left for one more pancake morning. If the board says yes, I'll live in a halfway house. No contact for 2 years. Then supervised visits. I won't ask for more than you can give. Love always, Sarah. Finn traced the word mama. Can she come to my kindergarten graduation? Nora's jaw tightened. She drowned Aunt Ellen. I folded the letter. We'll decide together, when we're ready. Liam's first college weekend. He arrived Friday night, duffel slung over shoulder, hair bleached by pool chlorine. Campus smells like cafeteria pizza and ambition, he announced, hugging us in a 3-way squeeze. We grilled steaks on the dock. Liam told stories. Roommate from Brooklyn who'd never seen a loon. Professor who cited Ellen's scholarship in lecture. Midnight swim in the campus pond. Security chased them out. Finn asked, "Did you die for Aunt Ellen's smile?" "Every day," Liam said. September, kindergarten open house. Finn wore his seal backpack. I wore my best cardigan, the one Ellen knitted in high school, lake blue with pearl buttons. His teacher, Miss Patel, had arranged cubbies shaped like rowboats. Finn's name tag, Finn O'Neill, future oceanographer. During circle time, he stood. My gran taught me to swim where my aunt lives. The lake is magic. Miss Patel's eyes misted. That's beautiful, Finn. October 12, 30th anniversary. We held the memorial at twilight. The lake mirrored the sky, rose, violet, indigo. Liam, home for fall break, read his research abstract, Microplastics in Blackwater Lake, a 30-year study. Nora unveiled a bronze plaque beside Ellen's. Sarah, postmarked, She Learned to Float. Finn released 30 paper boats, each with a glow stick. I spoke. 30 years since Ellen left us. 5 since Sarah tried to follow. The lake keeps its secrets, but we keep its lessons. Halloween. Theme, underwater myths. Liam, Poseidon, trident made from dockwood. Nora, Siren, voice modulator app. Finn, baby kraken, 8 pipe cleaner arms. We carved pumpkins. Liam's, stopwatch. Ellen's record. Nora's, open book. Scholarship. Finn's, seal with a graduation cap. Thanksgiving. 42 at the table. Fiona's colcolin, Bridget's tart, Liam's dorm recipe mac and cheese. Finn said grace, for the lake that holds Aunt Ellen and taught Mommy to float. December, parole decision. Denied. Reason, insufficient remorse demonstrated in victim impact session. Sarah's letter arrived Christmas Eve. Ma'am, they asked how I sleep knowing I killed my sister. I said, like a stone at the bottom of Blackwater. They didn't like that. Back to square one. I finished the prison library mural. Lake at 4 Seasons. Guard Tiffany's baby spit up on it. I laughed. First time in years. Tell Finn his seal is on my cell wall. Tell Nora the mural travels to Sing Sing next. Tell Liam his research is required reading in my GED class. Merry Christmas from the stone. We hung her letter on the fridge, beside Finn's kindergarten art and Liam's syllabus. Christmas. Gifts under the tree. Liam, wetsuit with O'Neill embroidered. Nora, tablet for digital art. Finn, picture book, the seal who learned to float. We watched The Little Mermaid. Finn narrated. Ariel's daddy was wrong. Voices matter. New Year's Eve. fireworks over the ice. Liam set them off with campus precision. Nora live-streamed for her art collective. Finn banked pots. Midnight toast to 2031. May we dive into truth, float on love, and resurface whole. January 2031, Liam's first research trip. He flew to Woods Hole, Ellen's dream school, for a microplastics conference. Sent photos, diving in Cape Cod Bay, tagging Ellen's scholarship on every slide. February, Valentine. Nora's mural returned from tour, signed by hundreds. We hung it above the fireplace. Finn's class made Valentines. His, a seal holding a heart, captioned, "You taught me to float, Gran." March, Sarah's appeal. New lawyer argued cruel and unusual to deny work release. Hearing via Zoom. Sarah looked thinner, eyes brighter. Victim impact statement, my turn. I read, Sarah took my daughter, my husband, my trust. But she gave me 3 grandchildren who learned to swim in the same water. I forgive the girl who drowned at 15. I cannot free the woman who pushed. Parole denied again. Spring, growth. Daffodils taller. Liam's research published in Limnology Today. Nora accepted to Pratt Institute, full ride. Finn read chapter books aloud to Patrick Jr. Summer, 2031. Family reunion. 53 relatives. Tents on the lawn, rowboat races. Ellen's Echo won. Liam steering, Nora coxswain, Finn mascot. August 15, 7 years. We returned to the dock. Liam wore his lab coat. Nora carried her Pratt acceptance. Finn held Patrick Jr. We scattered wildflowers. Liam dived, Nora sketched, Finn sang. I whispered, 7 years since you tried to drown us. 7
August
years
15,
since we learned to
2032.
live.
I was 71, and the lake house had grown into a heartbeat. The dock's brass plaque, Ellen's Echo, Swim Here, Fear Nowhere, was polished every Sunday by Finn's small hands. The daffodils had spread into a yellow river from the boathouse to the water's edge. Liam was 20, home from sunny Oswego for summer research. Nora, 16, had just returned from her first semester at Pratt Institute in Brooklyn. Finn was 8, missing 2 front teeth and convinced the lake fairies replaced them with diving stones. I woke at 4:11 a.m., the minute I resurfaced 7 years ago. The kettle sang. I opened the back door. The lake exhaled mist like a sleeping giant. Morning ritual, age 71. 5 o'clock. Tea, berries, 2 sugars, now with oat milk, doctor's orders. 5:15. Scholarship fund, $487,000. Corporate sponsor matched PBS donations. 5:30. Water daffodils. 5:45. Read Patrick's laminated cassette note. 6 o'clock. Wake Nora and Finn. Liam was already in the boathouse lab. Nora yawned, paint under her fingernails. Brooklyn smells like hot dogs and ambition. I missed pine. Finn bounded in. Gran, the lake fairies left me a quartz crystal. Breakfast Council, August 2032. Mail Mountain. Liam's research grant, $25,000 from NOAA. Nora's Pratt portfolio review, exceptional. Finn's 3rd grade supply list. Syracuse correctional envelope, Sarah, stamped, work release approved. Finn's eyes went saucer wide. Mommy's coming home? Nora's fork froze mid-air. Define home. Liam entered, dripping from a dawn swim. Let's read it before we panic. Sarah's letter, work release. To my family. They're letting me out September 1st. Halfway house in Syracuse. Curfew 8 p.m. Job at the public library. Shelving, story hour. I'll wear an ankle monitor for 1 year. No contact without permission. Liam, your microplastics paper is required reading in my re-entry class. I highlighted every mention of Ellen. Nora, your Pratt mural is on the prison commons wall. They let me keep a photo. Finn, your seal drawing is my bookmark. Connor's baby is 2. Tiffany posts photos. I don't look. I won't ask to come to the lake house.
I know what I took. But if you ever want to meet at the library, I'll be in the children's section, reading The Little Mermaid at 10 a.m. on Saturdays. Love from the stone that learned to skip. Sarah. Finn traced the word Saturdays. Can we go, Gran? Nora whispered. She drowned Aunt Ellen. Liam said, we decide together. No secrets. I nodded. We'll vote. After chores. Chores. Decision day. Liam, test water samples from Blackwater Drop. Nora, paint the boathouse door. New mural of the lake at sunrise. Finn, catalog new library donations. 20 picture books from a retired teacher. Me, polished Ellen's plaque, tighten screws. The vote. Dock at noon. Feet in water. Liam, I say we meet. Neutral ground. Hear her out. Nora, I say no. She can write. That's enough. Finn, I say yes. I want to see her read to kids. Tie. My turn. I looked at the plaque. Ellen would say forgive. Patrick would say protect. I say supervised visit. Library, 1 hour. We leave if anyone cries. Unanimous. September 1st, release day. We didn't go. Sarah's parole officer texted a photo. Sarah in khakis, ankle monitor glowing, shelving goodnight moon. Finn waved at the phone. Hi, Mommy. October 12, 32nd anniversary. Memorial at dawn. Lake like mercury. Liam presented his NOAA findings. Microplastics down 40% since 2025. His filtration buoys worked. Nora unveiled a glass sculpture. Lake water frozen mid-wave, embedded with Ellen's baby tooth, found in the attic. Finn released 32 glow stick boats. I spoke. 32 years since Ellen left. 7 since Sarah tried to follow. The lake is cleaner now. So are we. First library visit, October 15. Syracuse Public Library, Children's Section. Sarah wore a name tag, Miss Sarah, story volunteer. She saw us and dropped Where the Wild Things Are. Finn ran. Mommy. Sarah knelt, tears instant. You're so tall. Nora hung back. Liam stood guard. Story hour. Sarah read The Little Mermaid. Her voice cracked at she gave up her voice. After supervised room. Parole officer present. Sarah. I practiced this apology for 7 years. It's still not enough. Liam. We're here for Finn. Nora. Don't ask for more. Sarah nodded. I won't. Finn gave her a quartz crystal from the lake fairies. Halloween. Theme, ocean conservation. Liam, Jacques Cousteau, red beanie, fake beard. Nora, coral reef, dress of recycled bottle caps. Finn, baby sea turtle, cardboard shell. Pumpkins. Liam, filtration buoy. Nora, Allen scholarship logo. Finn, seal with ankle monitor. He insisted. Thanksgiving. 55 at the table. Sarah not invited. Finn set an empty plate for Mommy in case she's hungry in spirit. December. Documentary sequel. PBS returned. Title, Echoes of Ellen, 7 years later. Interviews. Liam, in lab coat, explaining buoys. Nora in Pratt studio, sculpting glass. Finn, reading to library kids. Me, on dock. The lake tried to swallow us. We taught it to sing. Sarah declined interview. Sent a note. My voice is in the books I shelve. Christmas. Gifts. Liam, drone for water sampling. Nora, glass blowing torch. Finn, seal puppet with movable flippers. We hung a new stocking. Sarah, empty but there. New Year's Eve. Fireworks over ice. Liam's drone lit the sky with 2033. Finn's resolution. Learn to skip stones like Mommy. January 2033. Liam's internship. Woods Hole, full-time. He moved into Ellen's dream dorm. February. Nora's first solo show. Brooklyn Gallery. Theme, water memory. Glass waves, LED daffodils. Sold out. March. Sarah's first unsupervised visit. Library parking lot. 1 hour. No officer. She brought The Little Mermaid, signed by Finn. Finn hugged her. Nora shook hands. Liam nodded. Sarah, I'm proud and sorry. Every day. Spring, growth. Daffodils to the boathouse. Liam's buoys in National Geographic. Nora's scholarship launched. Finn skipped 5 stones. Summer 2033. Family camp. We rented the entire campground. Rowboat regatta. Ellen's Echo, undefeated. August 15, 9 years. Dock at sunset. Liam wore his Woods Hole ID. Nora carried her gallery catalog. Finn held a skipping stone. We scattered wildflowers. Liam dived, Nora sketched, Finn skipped 6 bounces. I whispered, 9 years since you tried to drown us.
August
9
15,
years since we learned to
2034.
skip.
I was 72, and the lake house had become a university of its own. The dock's plaque, Ellen's Echo, Swim Here, Fear Nowhere, now had a twin. Sarah's skip, Forgive Here, Forget Nothing. The daffodils had conquered the entire shoreline, a golden army. Liam, 22, was finishing his master's at Woods Hole. Nora, 18, was a sophomore at Pratt, commuting from Brooklyn. Finn was 10, gap-toothed grin replaced by braces and a passion for skipping stones that rivaled Ellen's. I woke at 4:11 a.m., the minute I resurfaced 9 years ago. The kettle sang. I opened the back door. The lake exhaled mist like a prayer. Morning ritual, age 72. 5. Tea, berries, 2 sugars, oat milk, dash of cinnamon, Finn's idea. 5:15, scholarship fund, $1,200,000. Ellen's Echo Foundation went national. 5:30, water daffodils. 5:45, read Patrick's laminated note. 6 o'clock, wake Nora, home for summer, and Finn. Liam FaceTimed from Woods Hole. Nora yawned, charcoal smudges on cheeks. Brooklyn's loud, I dream in loons. Finn burst in, Gran, I skipped 7 stones yesterday. Liam's pixelated face, morning family, buoy array launched today, live stream at noon. Breakfast Council, August 2034. Mail avalanche. Liam's thesis defense invite, microplastic remediation in freshwater systems. Nora's solo show announcement, MoMA Young Artists. Finn's science fair ribbon, Lake Fairies, myth or mineral. Syracuse halfway house envelope, Sarah, stamped full release pending. Finn's braces glinted, Mommy's almost free? Nora's fork clattered, define free. Liam's voice crackled, we vote, same rules. Sarah's letter, full release. To my loves. Parole board meets September 15. If approved, I'm free October 1. No monitor. Job offer, children's librarian, Schenectalis. Apartment above the bookstore. I'll walk to work past the lake. Liam, your buoys are in Lake Champlain now. I saw the news. Nora, MoMA, I cried in the prison laundry. Finn, 7 skips. I practice on the rec yard concrete with bottle taps. Connor's in Florida. Tiffany left. Baby's 3. He doesn't write. I won't ask to live at the lake house, but I'd like to see the daffodils one day, when you're ready. Love from the stone that learned to skip. Sarah. Finn traced Schenectalis. That's 10 minutes away. Nora whispered, she'll see the dock. Liam. Neutral ground first. Library again? I nodded. Vote after chores. Chores. Decision day. Liam. Remote. Calibrate buoy sensors via satellite. Nora. Paint boathouse mural. Daffodil to Sami. Finn. Catalog science fair rocks. Quartz. Mica. 1 heart-shaped. Me. Polish both plaques. Oil the dock boards. The vote. Dock at noon. Feet in water. Liam. FaceTime. Meet. Library. 1 hour. We leave if anyone cries. Nora. Same, but I bring pepper spray. Finn. Yes, I'll show her my 7 skip stone. Unanimous. September 15, parole board. We watched the live feed, public now. Sarah in a navy blazer, hair in a bun, hands steady. Board. Ms. O'Neill Black, you drowned your sister at 15, attempted to drown your parents at 40. Why should we believe you've changed? Sarah, because I taught my son to skip stones on concrete. Because I shelf books about mermaids who find their voice. Because every daffodil bulb I planted in the prison yard was a promise to my mother. Approved. Release October 1. October 1, release day. We didn't go. Sarah's new boss texted a photo. Sarah in the Schenectady Library, name tag Miss Sarah, children's librarian, arranging the Little Mermaid display. Finn waved at the phone. Hi, Mommy. October 12, 34th anniversary. Memorial at moonrise, lake like black glass. Liam, home for defense, presented his buoy network, now in 200 lakes. Nora unveiled a light installation, fiber optic daffodils along the dock, glowing gold. Finn skipped 8 stones, record. I spoke. 34 years since Ellen left, 9 since Sarah tried to follow. The lake is a mirror now. It shows us who we choose to be. First library visit, October 15. Schenectady Library. Sarah wore a cardigan the color of lake mist. Finn ran. Mommy, 8 skips. Sarah knelt, tears instant. Story hour? The seal who learned to float. Sarah's voice cracked at she gave up her flippers for legs. After, community room, no officer. Sarah, I practiced this hug for 9 years. Nora allowed a side hug. Liam shook hands. Finn gave her the heart-shaped stone from the Lake Fairies. Halloween. Theme, Lake Guardians. Liam, ocean scientist, lab coat, buoy prop. Nora, daffodil queen, crown of real flowers. Finn, stone skipper, pockets full of flats. Pumpkins. Liam, buoy array. Nora, fiber optic daffodil. Finn, seal with 8 ripples. Thanksgiving. 60 at the table. Sarah invited, first time. She arrived with pumpkin pie, hands trembling. Finn set her place beside his. Nora sat opposite, Liam at the head. Grace, for the lake that holds our history and taught us to skip. Sarah whispered, Amen. December, MoMA opening. Nora show, water memory, a decade of daffodils, glass waves, LED paddles, soundscape of loons. Sarah attended, chaperoned by her boss, stood in the back, tears silent. After, Nora hugged her. You can come to the next one, alone. Christmas, gifts. Liam, PhD application fee waiver, Woods Hole. Nora, residency in Venice, glass blowing. Finn, skipping stone kit, flats from 20 lakes. Sarah's gift, a hand-bound book, the Lake House letters. Every letter she wrote us, illustrated by prison art class. We hung her stocking, full for the first time. New Year's Eve, fireworks over ice. Liam's drone spelled 2035. Sarah joined, first time on the dock since the push. Finn taught her to skip. She managed 3. January 2035, Liam's PhD. Accepted, full funding. February, Sarah's apartment. We helped her move. 1 bedroom, above the bookstore. View of Schenectady Lake. She home Finn's 8 ripple pumpkin drawing. March, Finn's science fair. National finalist. Project, skipping stones as erosion indicators. Sarah attended, front row, clapping loudest. Spring, growth. Daffodils to the mailbox. Liam's buoys in Smithsonian. Nora's Venice residency. Finn skipped 9. Summer 2035, family sabbatical. We closed the lake house for a month. Traveled to Ireland, Patrick's homeland. Sarah joined for the last week. First family photo in 19 years. Connemara Cliffs, all 5 of us. August 15, 11 years. Dock at sunrise. Liam wore his PhD hood. Nora carried her Venice sketchbook. Finn held a 9 ripple stone. Sarah stood beside me. We whispered wildflowers. Liam dived. Nora sketched. Finn skipped. Sarah skipped 4. I whispered, 11 years since you tried to drown us. 11 years since we
August
learned
15,
to stand on the dock
2036.
together.
I was 73, and the lake house had become a living archive. The dock's twin plaques, Ellen's Echo, Swim Here, Fear Nowhere, and Sarah's Skip, Forgive Here, Forget Nothing, were burnished bronze by sun and small hands. The daffodils had annexed the entire property, a golden empire that spilled into the forest. Liam, 24, was in his 2nd year of PhD at Woods Hole. Nora, 20, was back from Venice, arms inked with glassblower scars. Finn was 12, braces gone, voice cracking, skipping stones with the precision of a sniper. Sarah, 45, had lived in AuntieMaeTales for 2 years, children's librarian, ankle monitor long gone, skipping stones at 6 bounces. I woke at 4:11 a.m., the minute I resurfaced 11 years ago. The kettle sang. I opened the back door. The lake exhaled mist like a benediction. Morning ritual, age 73. 5 o'clock. Tea, berries, 2 sugars, oat milk, cinnamon, pinch of sea salt, Sarah's recipe. 5:15. Scholarship fund, $2,400,000. Ellen's Echo Foundation went global, buoys in 1,000 lakes. 5:30. Water daffodils. 5:45. Read Patrick's laminated note. 6. Wake Nora and Finn. Liam FaceTimed from Woods Hole. Sarah texted, "On my way, bringing scones." Nora yawned, glass dust in her hair. Venice taught me fire. The lake teaches me water. Finn burst in. "Gran, I skipped 10 stones at dawn." Liam's pixelated grin. Morning legends, dissertation chapter due, live stream defense in December. Breakfast Council, August 2036. Mel Everest. Liam's dissertation title, Global Microplastic Remediation, the Blackwater Model. Nora's Venice residency book, Glass and Water, a memoir in fragments. Finn's middle school schedule, Honor Science, Advanced Art. Official envelope from Scandia's library, Sarah stamped Head Children's Librarian. Finn's eyes sparkled, "Mommy's the boss of books." Nora smiled, first unguarded one in years. She earned it. Sarah arrived, scones warm, hair in a braid like Ellen's. Promotion came with a raise. I'm buying the bookstore apartment. Sarah's letter, promotion. To my family. They gave me the corner office, window faces AuntieMaeTales Lake. I hung Finn's tan ripple drawing. Every story hour I read The Seal Who Learned to Float. Kids ask if seals can skip stones. I say yes. Liam, your buoys are in Lake Baikal. Russian scientists cited you. Nora, your Venice book is on my nightstand. I read it under the covers like contraband. Finn, 10 skips. I practice on the library patio with river rocks. Connor's in rehab. Tiffany took the kid. He sent a letter, apology, no return address. I burned it. I'd like to host Thanksgiving this year. My apartment. You bring the lake. I'll bring the scones. Love from the stone that learned to skip. Sarah. Finn traced Thanksgiving. Can we bring the dock? Nora laughed. We'll bring the spirit. Chores. Celebration day. Liam, remote. Finalize dissertation slides. Nora, install new dock lights, solar daffodils. Finn, catalog global skipping stone submissions. Kids worldwide send flats. Sarah, bake scones, set table for 8. Fiona, Bridget, us. Me, polish plaques, oil the dock, hang new sign, O'Neill family dock. All welcome. The vote, Thanksgiving. Dock at noon, feet in water. Liam, her apartment, neutral, we bring dessert. Nora, I'll bring wine, non-alcoholic for Finn. Finn, I'll bring my 10 ripple stone. Sarah, I'll bring the table, and my heart on a platter. Unanimous? October 12th, 36th anniversary. Memorial at Starrise. Lake like liquid sapphire. Liam presented his global buoy map, 1,000 lakes, 73 countries. Nora unveiled a permanent installation, glass daffodils embedded in the dock, glowing at night. Finn skipped 11 stones, new world record, unofficial. Sarah spoke. 36 years since I drowned my sister, 11 since I tried to drown my mother. The lake taught me to skip. You taught me to land. I whispered, we all learned to float. Thanksgiving, Sarah's apartment. First time in her space, bookshelves to the ceiling, children's art on every wall, view of AuntieMaeTales Lake. Table for 10. Sarah cooked, turkey, colcallan, cranberry scones. Finn set places. Ellen, Patrick, empty but full. Grace, for the lake that swallowed and spat us out whole. Sarah carved. Nora poured. Liam toasted. To the stone that skipped 11 times. December, Liam's defense. Woods Hole Auditorium, live streamed to the lake house. Dissertation, passed with distinction. After, Liam proposed to his lab partner Maya, on one knee holding a buoy engraved, "Marry me, save the lakes." She said yes. Christmas. Gifts. Liam and Maya, matching wetsuits. Nora, kiln for the boathouse. Finn, world record skipping stone, certified by Guinness. Sarah, deed to the bookstore apartment, paid in full. We hung stockings. Ellen, Patrick, Liam, Nora, Finn, Sarah, Maya. New Year's Eve. Fireworks over ice. Liam's drone spelled 2037. Sarah skipped 7 stones, personal best. Finn's resolution, beat Grand's breath hold record. January 2037, wedding plans. Liam and Maya, lake house, August 15. Theme, echoes and skips. February, Nora's kiln. Boathouse became a glass studio. First piece, vase shaped like a skipping stone, engraved for Ellen. March, Finn's record. Official Guinness attempt, 11 skips, certified. Sarah cried in the library. Spring, growth. Daffodils to the road. Liam's buoys in nature. Nora's glass in the Met. Finn skipped 12. Summer, 2037, the wedding. August 15, dock transformed. Daffodil arch, glass buoys, skipping stone aisle. Liam and linen, Maya in lake blue. Vows. Liam, I'll dive for you, resurface with you, skip stones with you. Maya, I'll hold your breath, float your dreams, clean the lakes with you. Finn, ring bearer, stone in pocket. Nora, maid of honor, glass bouquet. Sarah, gave away the groom, first touching Liam in 19 years. I officiated, online ordination. By the power of the lake that tried to swallow us and taught us to swim, I pronounce you partners in tides and time. Reception on the dock, scones, colcallan, buoy-shaped cake. Sarah danced with Finn, first dance. August 15, 13 years. Dock at midnight. Liam and Maya held hands. Nora sketched the moon. Finn skipped 13. Sarah skipped 8. I whispered, 13 years since you tried to drown us. 13 years since we learned to dance on the water. Epilogue, 1 year later, August 15, 2038. I was 74. The lake house was full. Liam and Maya, expecting, due March. Nora, engaged to a Venetian glassblower. Finn, 14, voice deep, skipping 14. Sarah, promoted to library director, skipping 9. The dock plaques now had a third. Maggie's breath, hold here, love forever. We gathered at 4:11 a.m. I held my breath, 4 minutes, 11 seconds. Broke surface. The lake applauded.